what they do, y'all. How y'all doing out there? Aces and Jewels to the tribe. Hopefully you all are doing well. You all had a great week and all of that. Today I'm coming with a not so pleasant topic, especially for the women. I'm coming with the whole premise of the tribute, basically, for Kevin Samuel. Just acknowledging him and what he has done, I think, for the male community, and encouraging and building and helping in different ways. Maybe not a familiar tone, especially to the women, but he came with assertiveness. So, yeah, that's what we're going to expound on today. What they do. This your boy DP.
This your girl T.
And we're the Geminis Gemz, representing for the Geminis across the world, giving our own Miami perspective.
For sure.
So you can follow us on all podcast platforms at Geminis-Gems.
Also follow us on Instagram, Geminis_Gems, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Geminis Gems.
Hey, make sure you like, follow, you comment, and you subscribe. Yes. And make sure when you type it in, it's Geminis with the S, Gems with a Z. And what we do, T?
Drop them gems.
Drop them gems. So, yeah, we're back. So today, I'm coming with the whole tribute and acknowledgement of the late Kevin Samuels, and to a sudden death, as we call at my job, a sudden death that just took place and took the YouTube at storm, the world or the community at storm, especially in the manosphere. I came across him in 2018 through Hafiz's channel, The Roommates. He interviewed Kevin Samuels, and when I was introduced to him, he was very interesting. I like his delivery. I like his assertiveness. Actually, he reminded me of my uncle. So I was more drawn in because I had the relationship. I had a relationship with my uncle. So I kind of related to him and his approach. So I discovered him, and I found out he had a YouTube page. It started like May 20th, 2015, and he was actually helping out young men. And before he transitioned over to helping females or just conversing with females on a day-to-day basis, he was actually talking to males on a day-to-day basis, helping them out to increase their repertoire with fragrance, appearance, because I think he was an image consultant. So he basically was, telling men to get fit, increase your income to become a high value man. And I love his message because I was searching on YouTube for a while and never came across content that was like for males and to build and encourage males in a way that the church wasn't doing. It was more governed by females, towards females. It was governed, the messages was governed towards females, which is understandable, but also it was leaving out the males. So, just coming across his content, I learned, what he was about. Very interesting. Like I say, he was assertive, honest, as well as he was professional, and he taught what made sense, just like my uncle. So I kind of that's my correlation on my relationship, or what I related to from him. So I like the fact that he spoke sense, life, and empowerment towards males, as I said recently. As well, he took the time to invest into males of all ages. I remember a time I was in the car and I was riding to go see my son to pick him up so we can go to see my sister. And just tell you a little story. And my dad was in the car with me. So we was riding, and as you know, my dad was in and out of sleep. I was listening to some of Kevin's content, and when I was listening to it, my dad was like in and out, and as he was in and out, he was like, I like that, and basically he loved the message that he was giving across the board, like what he was saying and delivering it. He loved what he was saying. He liked and he was interested in it, to the point where when we drove back from dropping my son off, we drove back, he actually was like, man, put that guy back on, and what it meant to me, it gave my dad to me as well as other men as I saw in my life, that encouragement, something to stand on. He was that uncle to me that will speak life in you. Things that you cannot see, he will basically help blow life in you. So we understand that God, that people literally plant water, but God gives the increase. So to me, he was a planter. He was a gardener that he watered into men's life, where God would give the increase later. And I saw that when my dad related to the guy as he was talking. Related to Kevin Samuel as he was talking during the podcast. And I know, far as women, a lot of women I have came across, and we begin to have conversations about Kevin Samuels, they was not feeling him, and they don't feel him, which I understand because they don't like his delivery. But some of the women that I think that don't like him are women that are literally or has not have a great connection with males. So they don't know how males talk. They never heard a man talk. They only heard the mom talk, the auntie talk, the grandma talk, So they never really heard the granddad talk. And they never heard the dad talk or the big brother talk. And if they did hear it, they only heard 2 words. Do not do this. Stop. You heard what I said, do what I asked, and basically that's it. But they never had a conversation. And the women that do understand Kevin Samuels, to me, and again, this is my social observation, are the ones that literally have dads in their lives, uncles in their lives that speak to them, that have private conversations. So they kind of relate. They can kind of relate to Kevin Samuels when they hear his content. And that's the difference. The ones that struggle because, they don't like his tone of voice, you can tell they never really receive from a male instructions or just guidance. And when, like I said, when they go to church, everything was toned down because women filled the church. So men moved out and women moved in. And when they moved in, everything started to dumb down. But that's just my perspective on that. Not saying I'm correct, but that's how I see it. So yeah, another fondest memory of Kevin Samuel, and understand why I'm doing this as well, because he was a public figure. So I'm saying this publicly, because I am a private person. So some things that have transpired in my life, I will not talk about. But this one I will, because the simple fact that he is public. He's a public figure. So I do want to have my aces to understand, and Jules to understand, that I'm coming out to talk about it because of the simple fact it was an encouragement, right? So the fondest memory I have was at my job with one of my coworkers. We got dispatched to go to a scene, and I was listening to one of his episodes. And while I was listening to it, I ended up, we got in the car and we took off. And once we took off, it was, me listening to it in my headphones, and he overheard it. He was like, yo, you listen to Kev? I'm like, yeah, bro, you know about him? He's like, yeah. And we just end up just listening to that episode I was listening to as we were driving to the different scenes that day. And at different points, we would stop playing the actual episode and just talk about whatever he's talking about. And in us talking, we will basically agree to what he's saying because it made sense, right? So, and I'm going to give you an example. So he may say, hey, listen, you are not as important because you have kids, right? You're not highly valued in the market because you have kids. So me and my coworker would sit up there, and this is one of his viewers that's on his section, part of the section or the episode, the section where he's talking to the callers, right? So they would say, "Oh, I got kids." He would ask them their age, their name, their age, and then sometimes he'll ask them if they have kids. So this particular woman had kids. So when we were talking about it, so when they were talking, we paused it and we were saying, like, basically he was saying that, your market value isn't high because you have kids. And the more kids you have, the lower your market value as a woman is in the dating market. That's what we're talking about. Not as a person, but in the dating market, it goes down. So we end up pausing the video. And when we paused the video, we was like, bro, we agree. Because how we see it is that you don't have much to offer outside of, let's say, bringing in kids to this situation. So that means that's money we have to spend, time we have to put into somebody else's kids, trying to balance out the time between us having a relationship, me and like, let's say my girl having a relationship, me having a relationship with your child, as well as trying to get them to obey. It's a lot that goes with that, and some women don't understand it. They think because they have the pleasure hole, the the hole of pleasure, they feel like their value is always and will remain high. So we will converse about that amongst each other when we are going to and fro, while we are just driving around. And so me saying that's one of the fondest memories. Not saying that's the only thing that we had just we picked on, but there was different ones that did come across that me, my coworker, and I used to converse about. Also, to understand in his sudden death, even though he was higher as a high value man, so that means to me he was making significantly a lot of money, probably before YouTube and also with YouTube. And to understand that money isn't everything, and money doesn't provide you a long life. That's why I don't put value on money. I don't put value on monetary things. On, like, me, I'm going to say the Balenciagas, I'm going to say the Birkins, I'm going to say the Mercedes Benz. And the money in the bank doesn't mean you're going to have long lasting life. This Kevin Samuels actually had a plan for the community to build relationships, because there's more unity. He understood, to me, that there's more building in unity. So in order for us to get somewhere, we need to unify. We need to come together. We need to build something. So he wanted to build his own community where they can do a mingle and greet, and a social event where they can start building relationships with each other, male and females, so they can not have the disconnect, but have a connection with each other. And I thought that was a great idea. Actually, that's something that I want to implement as I and the channel begins to grow. Me and T begin to grow together, building Gemini Gems, right? So we want our aces and jewels to understand that we want you all to unify. We want you all to come together and build, right? So we're trying to preach a message that allows us to grow, especially in our community. And the reason why I also was drawn to him was because of his professionalism. And in that, what I want to talk about is his approach. Like, he had a professional setup to me, and his format was unified all the time. Basically, he'll start with the intro, saying his sayings, and then he gets into his fragrance. Then he gets into the topic. Then he go ahead and do a little monologue. After the monologue, then he begins to basically have an open forum. And I love the fact that he was consistent. And what I learned even from him to be consistent, and actually this is one of the reasons why I even was encouraged to start with the Geminis Gemz, going to T or T coming to me, and then we're just coming together about it. It was very much a motivational thing, even from him. And yes, he will be missed, especially in this manosphere or just in the YouTube community. I think he had a lot of ears, he had a lot of eyes, and he had hearts towards him, even though the negative will come his way. And that's just the nature of people. But at the end of the day, his life, he did live a good life to help. And what I mean by that is just in his life, as he lived his life, he began to serve people by helping them to become better. And understand too that yes, we are a mist that is here today and will be blown away tomorrow. So it doesn't matter what you possess, doesn't guarantee long life. And a blessing towards him and his family. May God bless them, keep them safe from all hurt, harm, and danger, seen and unseen, as well as the followers that loved him and was motivated by him. And to the haters and spectators, he called them detractors, the divergence. Blessings towards you all too. And hopefully you all begin to see the purpose of him. Maybe he didn't deliver the way you wanted him to, but he delivered the message to build. But I'm your boy DP. This is Geminis Gemz. That's Geminis with the S, Gems with a Z. And what we do, we drop them gems. And I'm going to drop a gems for Kevin Samuels on my behalf as well as T behalf. All right.